Hi everybody, thank you for joining us on TNT today. Brand new week, and we do have a lot to talk about today. You know what I'm going to be talking about, so I'll get to it ASAP. Just wanted to tell you where I am today. I'm actually in Chumpon on my way to Bangkok. I'll give you a quick idea of exactly where I am. I'm at the Novotel Chumpon Resort. I'm the only person here. I'm in the breakfast area, and it's around about 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Honestly, I couldn't see anybody here last night, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person here in the entire resort. Older style resort, and I think they're probably struggling a bit at the moment. So if you're passing by Chumpon, drop into the Novotel. Anyway, let's get into the story, and you would not believe this, but there has been more changes to the arrival procedures, the revised arrival procedures for people coming to Thailand. Now, on yesterday's program, I did an update on exactly the situation, advised in what's called a NOTAM, which is a notice to air missions, which is basically something that a government or a civil aviation authority would send out to airports and airlines around the world to advise pilots and authorities exactly the arrival procedures in a particular country. So here it is. This is the actual NOTAM. So this is a revised NOTAM that came yesterday, late yesterday. I had a chat with Richard Barrow, and we both cannot believe how badly this whole situation has been handled. Richard said I can quote him, and I absolutely agree. It's a shit show. I don't think you can say much more than that. This is the actual NOTAM as published on the NOTAM website. Let's go to the specific paragraph, and this one is going to give a bit of relief for those people that were unvaccinated, that were thinking, oh my God, I've bought a ticket, can I go to Thailand? From today, no, I can't. Well, apparently, with this revised NOTAM, you may be able to come. Let's go through the revised number 5, and I apologise about the quality of this screen capture. The airline must check the documents as required. If passenger fails to produce document proving these requirements are met, the passenger is subjected to be tested at the port of arrival. Now that's a big change. It means that they might let you on the plane and that there could be a PCR test at arrival. This is a big change because it means that people who were unvaccinated, who would have originally been turned away at the airport, will now get an opportunity. Now, will this NOTAM filter through to all the airports who are now juggling through check-ins of people coming into Thailand, including from today from China? Are they going to be allowing people to get on the planes? Because it's in direct contradiction to the first part of this NOTAM, which is here. Where are we? Passengers 18 years old or older must provide proof of full vaccination or proof of COVID-19 recovery not more than 6 months. Passenger who does not have vaccine must have a letter from a doctor providing a reason. So just within the one NOTAM, items number 1 and number 5 are in contradiction of each other. So that's the situation. Pretty much means that if you are unvaccinated, that you should be allowed onto a plane and that you would have a PCR test when you arrive in Thailand. I'll do my best to keep up to date with this story. There'll be a link in the description of this video to a story that we'll be keeping updated. So if there's any new changes, we'll certainly bring you up to date on that. But that's the latest on the arrival procedures for coming to Thailand. And for the unvaxxed, let's say it's probably some good news for you. You're watching TNT remote today, coming to you from Chumpon on my way to Bangkok. I'll be in Bangkok by tonight. Some more news about that particular story, and Thai PBS World says that China ends quarantine for overseas travellers. China lifted quarantine requirements for inbound travellers yesterday, ending almost 3 years of self-imposed isolation, even as the country battles a surge in COVID cases. This, of course, has been very controversial for a lot of people who are saying, why why is China letting its people go right at the same time as there's this surge in COVID-19 cases? And people accusing the Thai government of grabbing the money and saying that tourism is being put ahead of people's health. Anyway, let's read more of this story. The first people to arrive, that's of course talking about the Chinese tourists, expressed relief at not having to undergo the gruelling quarantines that were fixtures of life in zero COVID China. And in Hong Kong, where the border with mainland China was reopened after years of closure, more than 400,000 people were set to travel north in the coming 8 weeks. Well, that story from Thai PBS. Let's see how Bangkok Post is handling this story this morning. And it says the country gets set for China arrivals, and industry leaders are united in their belief that the visitors present an opportunity, not a risk. And more than 300,000 Chinese nationals are expected to travel to Thailand in this year's first quarter. And some business sectors have high hopes for the resumption of the Chinese market over the long run. China's embassy in Thailand is planning to conduct PCR COVID-19 testing for its citizens for their return trip to China. And Dr. Chalerm says if a foreign tourist is infected with COVID-19 during their stay in China, private hospitals are always ready to provide treatment. And you'll love this next line. More COVID cases could be beneficial for the medical sector's bottom line. COVID-19 as a profit centre for the private hospitals in Thailand. So come on, Chinese, come into Thailand, make sure you get tested, and we'll take your money and we'll turn it into a profit for our private hospital sector. That's really going to go down well, Doctor. And from the TAT, Tanet Petsuwon, the Deputy Governor, says Chinese visitors would not flood into the country during the first few weeks of the year because the total number of seats on flights from China is only 72,000. And Mr. Tanet said the situation should improve in March as the number of Chinese arrivals could reach 150,000, while the target for the whole year is set at 5 million. So obviously the airport's gearing up for additional arrivals, and we know that airlines are approaching the airports for additional slots to bring in more planes. So that's an ongoing story, the return of Chinese tourists to Thailand, and there's so many layers in this one, and mostly connected to the completely botched new arrival procedures for passengers from around the world, and the fact that they just don't seem to be able to decide how they want to do it. The NOTAM that was described earlier in this particular episode is the fourth change in about 5 days since the Public Health Minister said there would be new arrival procedures last Thursday. A complete botch and an embarrassment for Thailand. I don't think even the best supporters of the Thai government would say that this has been handled in any way professionally or in a way that would help attract tourists in the future. You're watching TNT, and I'm coming to you from Chumpon at the Novotel Beach Resort, and very, very quiet indeed. I'm the only person, as far as I can see, in the entire 500-bedroom resort. Quite a strange situation. Nobody cares if I'm talking at the moment, I can tell you. Now, yesterday I came from Phuket to Chumpon on a slightly unusual route. Usually you come from Phuket up through Bang Na and then Suratani and then along a coast road on the Gulf of Thailand to Chumpon to then head onwards to Bangkok. But I came up through Khao Lak along the Andaman coast, and I had breakfast with some good friends from Melbourne. Then I made my way up the coast to Ranong, and the road from Khao Lak to Ranong is not very good. It's only one lane in each direction, and there was a good solid 10 kilometres where there was some roadworks, so they are slowly improving it. But once you get to Ranong, where I had lunch yesterday, the road improves vastly, and it was a double lane highway all the way, and really well-made road. It scoots along the border of Myanmar, and a really nice route to travel to Chumpon, a different way, and I thoroughly enjoyed the drive. And today I'll be making my way. It's about 4 or 5 hours from here to Bangkok. I imagine that most of my time will be actually making my way around the middle of Bangkok to get to Asok. I'm picking up things from my old apartment there in Asok, and also visiting some friends and doing some interviews. So that's my trip yesterday, and so I'll probably give you a few details if you're even vaguely interested, although the trip from Chumpon to Bangkok is pretty much double lane highway all the way. TNT on Monday. Hope you're having a great day. As I said, if you want to know some more information about the latest on the arrival procedures, there's a link in the description of this video which should give you all the latest information. Thai PBS World has a story: woods behind the Mahadon University in Kanchanaburi off limits after a tiger sighting. Kids, before you leave class today, just be aware that there's a tiger on the loose. Let's see how this story unfolds. Thai PBS saying that the Mahidol University in Kanchanaburi has banned its students and staff from venturing into the woods behind the campus. Not sure why they'd be venturing into the woods anyway. After a tiger was seen by a villager in the forest last Wednesday, and tiger footprints were found. Camera traps have been installed at 8 locations in the forest in Sayok district, where the tiger is expected to forage, and says that tigers are a protected species in Thailand, and there are about 200 of them in the wild, mostly in the Western Forest Complex. That's basically Kanchanaburi and along the border areas with Myanmar, and it covers about 17,871 square kilometres, and it encompasses 11 national parks, sort of partly the areas where I was driving through yesterday. So tiger on the loose, perhaps, as reported by a villager in Kanchanaburi. This story from Thai PBS World. 7 boats have caught fire at Thailand's Mak Island on Saturday night. That's down on the eastern coast of Thailand, down near Trang. And it says that 6 speedboats and a wooden tour vessel moored at the wharf at Mak Island off the eastern province of Trat were destroyed by fire on Saturday night. The fire is reported to have started at about 7 p.m. on one of the boats and quickly spread to the others, which were all moored close to each other at the Altong Lang wharf. The fourth paragraph, the head of the island's Tambon said that there were no injuries or deaths. That's good to know. And then he says that he'd reported the incident to the Trat provincial governor, seeking help to get tourists back to the mainland because there were only 6 speedboats left on the island, which were insufficient. So if you are heading down to the east coast of Thailand, down to Trat or even Mak Island, be aware that there could be some delays getting tourists on and off that particular island. Well, just further to that last story, just noting that a tugboat has capsized in choppy seas in the Gulf of Thailand. When I arrived last night, it was indeed quite choppy, some 25 to 30 knots of wind, and I probably wouldn't have wanted to have been out there in a small boat last night. So that was the situation, although this morning, silky smooth as I look out across the Gulf. So that's the situation, and obviously the NOTAM, the Notice to Air Missions, is the big news today. If you are an airline or check-in staff, you've got 3 updates over the past few days from Thailand, and the good news is for the unvaccinated people, you should be able to get on an aircraft, but I'd probably be downloading a copy of that NOTAM if you are heading to the airport. There's no use shaking your fist at the check-in staff if they haven't, for whatever reason, been notified. So it's an ongoing story, and we'll do our best to keep you up to date. The linked story in the description will have all the latest information between our daily TNT programs. Do have some exciting news for you in the next few days about TNT. Yes, there's going to be some changes, and I think you'll be happy. Quite challenging. I'm a bit nervous. Anyway, we'll tell you more about that in the next few days. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.